Hey, what's up YouTube? I'm back with another radio video, and today I'm going to show you the final modifications on the MLA-30 Active Loop Antenna. Here it is. It's a copper tube. It's about a quarter of an inch diameter. Okay, it's slightly bigger than a hula hoop. I'm going to say almost 3 feet in diameter. And of course also the BNC modification. And inside you have the ferrite bead, and I have it connected to RG8X coax going down to the basement about 75 feet directly into the RSP Dx for power. That will bias T, so it's powered by the SDR. Okay, and I'm going to compare that with the MFJ-1886 loop, and we'll see how much it improved compared to the stock antenna. And let's go check it out. We are now down here in the basement, and it's a few hours later. And the reason why I picked this time is around, right now it's 10:36 in the evening, and I picked this time because I wanted to go all the way down to the long wave band so I can do the comparison. So before we begin, antenna A will be the MFJ-1886 loop. Antenna B will be the copper modified MLA-30. And with the bias T, we'll be using the bias T from the SDR. So all the modifications that I done was, first modification was the copper element. And it's you saw it on the roof. It's about 3 feet wide, a little bigger than a hula hoop. Also, the BNC connector, I got rid of the wire and put the BNC connector. I also put a ferrite bead inside the amplifier. And also, I will be using the internal bias T. So my SDRPlay RSP Dx will supply the voltage directly to the amplifier. So those are 4 modifications that I done to this antenna. Okay, well, 3 are modification. One is just if you have another device that can supply the voltage. So that's not really a modification. That's just a feature on the SDRPlay RSP Dx. So let's begin. This is the MFJ-1886 loop.
Una serie de datos relacionados con esta plataforma. Se ha convertido en la segunda página más visitada del mundo, solo por detrás de Google. La plataforma tiene casi 2.000 millones de usuarios. Cada día se ven más de 5.000 millones de vídeos. Cada minuto se suben más de 300 horas de vídeo. Y llevaría más de 60.000 años. Y lo peor de todo.
Now, the copper MLA-30.
¿Te ves en YouTube dentro de otros 13 años? Haciendo música, haciendo lo que sea.
Creo que mientras sea una plataforma útil, como lo es hoy por hoy, lo seguiré utilizando. O sea, creo que ahora tenemos la suerte en el 2019 de tener tantas plataformas que nos pueden permitir hacer tantas cosas simplemente con un ordenador y una conexión a internet. Todo lo que me pueda ayudar a seguir creando, lo utilizaré, seguro.
Y ahí estaremos para verlo.
Genial.
Pues si te parece, te voy a despedir con otro de los temas de tu último trabajo titulado Quizá no sea para ti. Un placer haberte conocido.
Igualmente.
Hasta otro día.
Copper 2, MLA-30. So as you can see, the copper tube MLA-30 noise and signal went up by, I believe, 1 S unit or so. And this does occur on the higher bands. So I did with the copper tube, I did notice right away that the signal was a bit stronger. And there's several ways you can, I know that you can dial it down, the potentiometer inside the amplifier. I didn't do any of that. I don't want to do any of that. I kept it stock setting. But you can see the gain is up, but also the with whatever associated noise also went up. Okay? So let's go to the next band.
Yo quiero tener la voz de Constantino.
Apoi duse pe malul celălalt al fluviului Mekong în fabrici care cu muncitori care aveau
And this is the MFJ-1886 loop.
de exemplu cum se face deparazitarea în sensul că aveau pensete, aveau lămpi pe o masă luminată și cum era făcută fasonarea. Problema este a comercianților. Faptul că vine.
And now the copper tube MLA-30
este a comerciantului care acceptă sau nu acceptă. Din moment ce înseamnă glazură. Glazură este un strat protector de apă care apără peștele sau fructele de mare pentru a nu se deshidrata. Este, părerea mea, la nivel rezonabil, de 50%, reprezintă chiar
And now the MFJ-1886 loop.
Eu, de folosesc 3-5%. Pentru că în timp, dragă Marian, dragă Marius, dragă Ana și Costin, voi știți foarte bine, n-ai cum să ai continuitate în aprovizionare fără să profiți de sezoanele de pescuit. Să vă dau un exemplu.
Copper MLA-30
pescărița, avem continuitate în aceleași specii de pește, pentru că pe lângă peștele proaspăt, care este sezonier de la un sezon la altul, avem și...
So again, signal is seems stronger, but also the noise it's a bit higher. So far the MFJ-1886 is a bit quieter. Okay, so let's go to the next band.
Para evitar la infección. De acuerdo con Rivero, la Liga Española prevé reanudar su...
Este es mucho más contagioso. ¿Cuál es la mayor forma que tiene de contagio?
それはね、読み方はね、小学校の小って読むの。小惑星と言って、それはね、ほとんどの小惑星は火星の地。
MFJ-1886 loop. Okay.
ね、さっき言ったリュウグウとか、それからあとは。
And now the copper MLA loop.
まあ、いや、もっとです。本当にたくさんの小惑星が、火星と木星の間にあります。で、このサンプルリターンといって、リュウグウから今、はやぶさ2がね、その、かけらというかね、石を持って帰ってくる。で、今年の秋から冬にね、それを持って帰るので、その時またね、話題になると思います。はい。はい。はい。本当にゆうせい君、星とか天文好きなのね。はい。将来ずっとね、星のこと興味持ち続けてもらいたいなと思います。昨日も何か星を見たの？
昨日は夜、衛星を見ました。
見たんだ。おじさんも見た。昨日ね、望遠鏡取れてね。同じ金星見てたんです。
So they seem to be almost on par, with except the copper tube MLA-30 seems to be a little bit the signal and the noise a bit higher, but almost on par. And now we're going to go to the 60-meter band. Let's put on the MFJ-1886 loop first. There's quite a bit of noise here.
Proud of, I don't talk enough about, because there's so many amazing essential oils and ingredients in it. it takes a long time to break down the product because it's a complex product. A lot of the sprays you put in your mouth, your throat, and lungs are really thin. It's a little bit of alcohol.
Now that is the MFJ-1886 loop, and there is some interference going on here. I know there's some local interference that's been going on for the last past week. It comes and goes, but I haven't been able to find the source of it so far. Okay, now I'm going to play the copper tube MLA-30.
For you and your family to have in your arsenal during these insane times. So get your lung cleanse discounted at InfoWarsStore.com and get yourself and your family prepared while at the same time funding the InfoWar, a total 360 win. InfoWarsStore.com.
So now we're going back to the MFJ-1886 loop.
That have been pushing for coronavirus hysteria and suspension of basic rights for the last 8 weeks. And now, Governor Newsom.
And now back to the MLA-30 copper tube MLA-30.
Declare martial law. Well, that's a word game. When you tell 40 million people they can't leave their houses, period, and you scaremonger and say that almost 60.
So although again there is some interference going on, it seems that this time the copper tube MLA-30 seems to be performing a bit better than the MFJ-1886 loop at the 60-meter band. And that was one of the observations I noticed. As I go lower in the bands, the copper tube seems to be doing better. A bit better. Almost on par. Okay? So now let's just go to the 75-meter band. I doubt if we're going to get anything at this time because there was some interference earlier. Let me put it on the MFJ-1886 loop. And let's see if we can get anything here.
What are you doing?
Yeah, so quite a bit of interference going on.
Thing about like leaning over a 1250 toss. Hey, Pete, what'd you say that stuff was you used? Nutter butter. Nutter butter. Nutter butter. You do keep them, well.
And again, this is the MFJ-1886 loop.
That's what they use on cows. Okay. I had an old boy I worked with years ago had sugar real bad, and he was really just wouldn't look after it. He had places, but.
And now the copper tube MLA-30.
He went out here to Swan Creek Mill and got him some horse liniment. And within 2 weeks' time, his legs was healed up. Time to go. Every time I mention it to the doctor, he acts like he don't know what it is. Well, I had a brother-in-law that worked for some drugstore chain.
Now back to the MFJ-1886 loop.
And he said if you need penicillin, then the best place to get penicillin is at the place where they sell fish. They keep everything in there.
And now back to the copper tube MLA-30.
Comes out of the same spout. Time to go.
So it seems that the copper tube loop seems to be performing just as well as the MFJ-1886 loop. Again, because as I go lower in the bands, because the bigger copper tube, it seems to favor the lower bands better. Now we are going to the 80-meter ham band. Again, MFJ-1886 loop.
I'm sorry, Mike, where wife just called. She said stay outside. Yeah. She actually heard that. She's out here with me. Hi. All right, man. We'll catch you guys later. 73. Take care, guys. 73, man. 73. W2.
Now the copper tube MLA-30.
Amazing. Rocking the house. KA2 PVT. In the house. Man, that guy's good. Yeah. So good to hear Tony and Al, and man, this is nostalgia right here. Stop sucking up, Corey. You guys have been a huge part of my, existence.
Now back to the MFJ-1886 loop.
I'm not going to downplay that. That's a huge thing, Yeah. I'll have some of whatever you got. Al, you've taught me a lot, man. You're my remote Elmer, the Elmer that I never met. Taught me the most. Thank you, Corey. Appreciate that greatly. I'm serious. I am too.
Now back to the copper tube MLA-30.
I haven't heard you in, it's probably been 8 months, Tony. Well, I'm on more than you are. I know that. Who, me? No, not you. Oh. I was talking to Corey. Hey, guys, I'll be right back. I gotta go brush my teeth. I just threw up in my mouth.
As you can see, the MFJ-1886 loop has a slightly lower noise floor than the copper tube MLA-30. But the signal gain on the copper tube seems to be about the same, if not a little bit better. So next one is the 160 meter band.
Check-ins, and we're going to begin looking for QRP, mobile, portable, DX, or first-timers, and we've got a first-timer on the top of the list right now.
And this is the MFJ-1886 loop.
Bravo Steven out of Albany, New York. Joined us for these and any other QRP, mobile, portable, DX, or first-timers wanting to join the 160
And now the copper tube MLA-30.
Echo Delta.
Back to the MFJ-1886 loop. Okay, let's try another frequency.
So I don't know if you remember those Gotham verticals.
So this is the MFJ-1886 loop.
I do.
Copper tube MLA-30.
My particular pet peeve is when people buy these closed loop antennas like a B&W, and it's got a giant resistor. Closed loop with a giant resistor, and they're all excited. Oh, look, the SWR is perfect from DC to daylight. This is just the most awesome antenna ever.
Back to the MFJ-1886 loop.
And you try to explain to them that there's no relationship between SWR and efficiency, and they don't get it. But the B&W people, I think.
So it seems to be almost on par, the copper tube MLA-30 and the MFJ-1886 loop. The MFJ-1886 loop, it is the noise floor is a bit lower, but the copper tube MLA-30, the signal seems to be a bit stronger, and also raise the noise floor by a bit. So, okay, so now we're gonna go to the medium wave band. Okay. And we're on the MFJ-1886 loop.
You'll see real rates go back into negative territory. That will be a potent power for gold. So you can see gold again approaching that sort of mid-1600s to 1700 over the next 3 to 6 months.
All right, so Wayne, you mentioned about that rush for dollars. It seems like the Fed, central banks have thrown everything and the kitchen sink into providing some liquidity. Is it that the dollar is going to remain strong for some time?
Copper tube
what ultimately still needs to happen to really bring down the dollar?
Okay, so I think a lot of the squeeze has come from the corporate side on a global basis, as well as from the major banks. So effectively, particularly on the corporates, as we can see some of the really big corporates, such as the airlines, etc., who have had to draw down on credit lines that they probably haven't had to touch for a very long time. Not only that, but while we had a household balance sheet crisis.
So on this particular station, on the medium wave band, they both seem to be on par. There's a very strong signal. It's a 50,000 watt station, about 15 miles away in New York City. So there's not going to be a problem with either one. Let's try a more weaker station.
Very weak demand in Asia.
An American politics to provide. Looks like this.
Wow. You had push no change. Is the panel bus coming to X or no? Going X. No.
Pay attention.
अच्छा अकाउंटेंट बचा सकता है आपके मेहनत से कमाए पैसे लीगली कॉर्पोरेशन या पर्सनल टैक्सेस नई इनकॉर्पोरेशन सीआरए ऑडिट बुक कीपिंग या फाइनेंशियल प्लान.
Okay, again, this is the MFJ-1886 Loop 530 coming out of Brampton, Ontario. And now the copper tube MLA-30.
Your family protection, our insurance.
It's audible, but it's a bit weak. Let's go back to the MFJ-1886 Loop.
This frequency air made in Canada frequency must be area at capacity. This is any fire or prototype will not natural
And they both just seem to be almost on par with a slight edge going to the MFJ-1886 Loop. So let's just try one more signal on medium wave. This is CHHA out of Toronto, Canada. And this is the MFJ-1886 Loop. Now let's try the copper tube MLA-30. And let's go back to the MFJ-1886 Loop. So they both seem to be on par. So pretty much the medium wave band, the copper tube MLA-30 is almost pretty much on par with the MFJ-1886 Loop. So now let's try long wave MFJ-1886 Loop. Okay, that's the MFJ-1886 loop. This is the copper tube MLA-30. So it picks it up. It's slightly lower signal. And one thing I noticed compared to the stock MLA-30, the noise floor is stable now. It's not one big noise ceiling below 200 kilohertz. So this is an improvement already with the modifications. Okay, and it does pick up 286 pretty good. Let's go lower. Actually, we're gonna go to 516, and I'm gonna put on the MFJ-1886 loop first. Let me put up the volume. And that is a navigational beacon. I believe that is Navtex, 516 kilohertz. Now the copper tube MLA-30. Now the carrier is there. You can barely hear it. So the MFJ-1886 loop is better on the long wave so far. But we're going to go lower. That is the MFJ-1886 loop, and that was about an S4, and you can hear the navigational beacon. Let's try the copper tube MLA-30. I can barely hear it. I had to put the gain up a little bit. Max out the gain, now you can hear it. So I'm gonna say once again that that is an improvement. Again, you can see the noise floor. Much better improvement on the modified MLA-30. And I was able to pick up this beacon at 366 kilohertz. Let me put it back in the MFJ-1886 loop. And let's go lower. Now, 198 kilohertz, I see the carrier, but I cannot hear any, I cannot get anything audible. I know that is the BBC long wave. This is a transatlantic, so this is that's the BBC long wave station. I can pick up the carrier with the MFJ-1886 loop. Let's see the copper loop. Copper MFJ-1886. Let's see the copper MLA-30. Nothing. Buried in the noise. So once again, the MFJ-1886 loop. Okay. So I think we're going to end it right there. So as you can see, the MFJ-1886 loop is still not by a lot, but it's still a good antenna. Still. Now again, I paid $300 for the MFJ-1886 loop, and I paid, I believe it was $45 for the MLA-30, and with modifications, it was almost on par with the $300 antenna. And there's a lot more tinkering you can do with it. It is a fun antenna. So in closing, my observation on the modifications was the element itself was not a noticeable difference. I mean, in other words, if I would have had the stock element, it probably would have still performed just as well. I believe that the copper tube bring in too much because I'm near a lot of powerful stations, so I believe that with the gain, it also brought a little bit of a noise floor. Now the other modification was the BNC and getting rid of the cable. That was a big difference. Okay, so in conclusion, if I had to do any modifications again, I definitely would get rid of that thin cable and use put a BNC connection there, or maybe I would just use the BNC connection. I wouldn't even try any other connection. BNC connection, and get rid of that cable, and get rid of that cable and use a better cable like a RG8X, or even better LMR240, or even better than that LMR400, and that will make a huge difference on the noise floor, because that's what you're really you really want to achieve, that bringing the noise floor as much as you can so you can get those weaker signals. And so that's what I noticed right away with the improvement. I was able to listen to more long wave and go lower on the medium wave band with the BNC, just doing the BNC. The copper tube, there wasn't a huge difference there in terms of, I was getting all the shortwave signals with the stock element, and the copper tube just raised the floor. So I will go back to the stock element and try that. But so it wasn't a game changer, changing the element. Changing the BNC, putting the BNC was a game changer. So that's the recommendation for any modification that you want to do that is going to improve your antenna right away, will be the BNC connection. Getting rid of that thin cable, which probably introduces a lot of noise and signal loss, and get a better cable, a coax going into your, and also in my case, the bias T from the SDR straight to the amplifier. For me, I didn't notice difference between using the USB box and going straight. I did not notice too much of a difference, but definitely the BNC connector is the game changer. Okay, so that's my and that's my opinion. That's what I read enough for the forum and in Facebook groups that the element is not the game changer. The game changer is the BNC connector. So there you go. So I hope you liked the video on that. I hope I was able to show you the modifications and comparing to the $300 loop antenna. And there's more to do. There's other modifications I can do with this. I want to try different other things. But that's my finding. My finding is definitely change the connector. I get rid of the wire and put a connector and use a better coax. Okay. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this video. But before I do, I just want to say thank you For those that subscribe to my channel, I just reached 1,400 subscribers, and that's a milestone for me, and I'm very happy about that, and I'm looking forward to 1,500. So thank you for those that subscribe to my channel, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you like my video, please subscribe to my channel, like my video, and also share the video. You can share the video, both, and that would really help promote my channel. And I appreciate all the likes. I appreciate the comments. I try to answer every comment. I do get a few knuckleheaded comments sometime, and I just block them. They get deleted and they get blocked, or they get blocked pretty much. So if you're gonna put a knuckleheaded comment, it will not be there long, because I pretty much check it all the time. And so anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. And before I leave, I just want to say, everybody stay safe, take care of yourself, and listen to what needs to be done, and we'll get through this together. And like I said, I just want everybody to stay safe and take care of yourself. Okay? And thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.